get it.
Funny, you know.
What's good, Bully World? This is Zeb. I'm your host, Bully Talk with Zeb Pits. And today we got Rand, the CEO of Bullypedia, man. What's good, dog?
You know, everything's good and everything is lovely. And thank you again, Zeb Pits, for capturing this moment. It's a special moment for me because it's like 6.5 years of hard work, toil, tribulations, and dedication to where Bullypedia is now. And you know, I'm happy for you to be a part of that. Like I didn't know, again, you captured earlier when I was talking to Zeb, like talking to old friends, and that's what it is about. You know, it's about building relationships with the bully community. It's not just about selling something, but it's actually communicating the brand to a wider audience. You know, Bullypedia started within the bully community 6 years ago, and I met Zeb here since then, and I've always appreciated the work that Zeb did for the bully community, and especially with Bullypedia and how he promotes his brand. So I appreciate that, Zeb.
Much respect, man. Let's go back a little bit. Going back to when you first started Bullypedia, for a lot of people that don't know, we did interviews before, but for those who don't know, what was the reasoning behind starting Bullypedia? We're just going to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Zeb. Back in 2009, late 2008, I started getting back into the breed, and that breed was American Pit Bull Terrier. And during that time, I was a web developer working for corporate companies, designing websites, web applications and such. And I bought a puppy, and I wanted to learn more about how that puppy was bred. And I couldn't find anything online. There was other resources out there, but it was more specific to like bully bloodlines. And there was nothing out there for American bully bloodlines. Yes, there was American Pit Bull Terrier online. I think that was the only resource out there, but that was more dedicated towards ADBA registered American Pit Bull Terriers. But I wanted to know more, and that more led me to ask a question. How about if there was a site that was dedicated for the American bully breed, which my dog was and is. It's an XL. If I was to enter him in shows, it would be an XL. But there was nothing like that, and I wanted to find out more of his heritage, his history, his genealogy, his parents, his siblings, all these questions that comes up when you're just like really interested into the makeup of your dog. And I've always been the type of person where I like to find out. I'm inquisitive, and I think everybody should be inquisitive and ask questions, because that's the only way you're going to learn, is to ask questions. And I ask myself a question, hey, let's have a site that's dedicated for the American bully breed, and let's call it something meaningful. Even back in 2009, early 2008, I want to make it impactful, the name itself, not even the website. So I called and registered a name called Bullypedia.com. That name signifies a few things. Back in 2009, a lot of the breeders were calling their dogs still American Pit Bull Terriers, but the serious breeders or the people that was involved in the American Bully, they identified that breed as the American Bully. The American Bully was recognized by the ABKC back in 2004, and it's fitting for Bullypedia, the name Bullypedia, to be called that as a dedication to the breed. So I started out with that name, Bullypedia.com, in 2009, and finally launched the first version of Bullypedia.com in April of 2010. So that's basically the history. I want to find out what my dog, I still have him, he's about 8 years old now, turning 8 this year. I love him to death. And without him, Bullypedia.com would have never came about, because it's asking questions, being inquisitive about the breed. Like everyone that's watching this right now, that you guys are passionate about the American Bully, American Pit Bull Terrier, American Staffordshire Terrier. That was the question I asked years ago. Until this day, I still am inquisitive and see where the American Bully's going and moving forward as far as progression.
Now, speaking on that, talking about Bullypedia and how you came up with the name of Bullypedia, how was the support of groups like Elite Edge at the time, who are one of the founders of coming up with the name Bully to distinguish themselves apart from the American Pit Bull Terrier? How has the support been?
The support back in 2008, as you guys remember, going back then, there was boards called MSN boards, GeoCities, ClubBully.com. These are boards you guys probably never heard of, but back then it was the main communication tools for American bully breeders to exchange information about current breedings, pups they had on hand, and the next upcoming studs. They would use these sites to market that. And back then, Bullypedia.com wasn't around. A lot of times, breeders that had these dogs would actually travel to shows and see these actual dogs to evaluate them for their program. And back in 2009, when the Elite Edge boards came about, I think it was called AmericanBullyWorld.com. It was around the same time where we started thinking, hey, maybe these boards can use this site and let's market it there. And we did. In 2009, we introduced it to the Elite Edge boards, Red Nose World, Kingpin line boards, and these are the boards that you guys, again, probably never heard of. That's where we got our foothold with Bullypedia.com once the Elite Edge board, AmericanBullyWorld.com, the website, we started recognizing Bullypedia as a pretty good resource for finding out bloodlines and pedigrees and seeing with pictures how these dogs looks like throughout the United States. Kind of changed the game, in my opinion. So we had a lot of good support, positive support on what Bullypedia, as a young company, as a young website that has a lot of maturity, then had to undertake. And we were proud to be a part of that maturity level. And now, almost 7 years later, 200,000 dogs in the pedigree database, 180,000 pictures, DNA profiling, microchipping, introducing other breeds like the Shorty Bull, shows a progression of Bullypedia, as an organization. So we had a lot of good support from the Elite Edge, the Red Nose community, Kingpin line boards, Gotti line boards, since the beginning, I would say.
Okay, speaking on that, where we are today. Today is the launch of the Shorty Bull, Shortypedia. How does it feel coming that far, knowing that you got your start with the Bullies and now working your way now into the Shorty Bulls and actually branching off into other breeds of dogs as well?
Man, Zeb,
did you envision that with the brand? Envisioning it off going into other breeds, or did you think it would strictly be with the American Bully?
6 years ago, I could have never envisioned introducing other breeds to Bullypedia. Again, the name derived from the American Bully. Bully meaning the breed, pedia meaning the encyclopedia, the resource for the American Bully. But now 6 years later, with more demand for what we do and how we do and how we present a product, and having Shorty Bulls, the breed itself, to be introduced to Bullypedia today at the Bully Roots Reunion Show 6, we're very proud of that. And it's very gratifying to know that other breeds, let's say like the Shorty Bull breed and the Shorty Bull community to be part of Bullypedia, it's very exciting and I'm very proud. It feels like the very first day that we introduced Bullypedia for the American Bully 6.5+ years ago. It feels the exact same way, and I'm proud to announce that Shortypedia will be the certified pedigree database of the Shorty Bull breed, and I'm proud of that, and I'm very happy and thankful, grateful that we have the support of the bully community, and I thank you so much for that.
Let me ask you, right now with Bullypedia, it's turned into a global, worldwide brand. How does that feel to know that the brand has reached out all across the globe at this point? Matter of fact, what countries right now are representations if people wanted to sign up with Bullypedia right now?
The world is a big place. If I was to narrow it down on memberships of those, we have memberships from Europe, Spain, Italy, China, Australia, Japan, United States, of course. Big following in Mexico. So to the Mexican people, I appreciate you. Saludos. Thank you so much. The the Philippine community is a big supporter as well. We have dogs from Czechoslovakia to Holland to the Netherlands. So we're pretty much widespread and worldwide as far as our memberships. And without the community support here in the United States and spreading throughout, we would never have that global reach that we tried aiming for. And we do have that reach now. We have a lot of members to every single country, every single nation in the world. So we have memberships to most of the developed countries in the world. So we do have a lot of members.
At this point in time with Bullypedia, in the past you've done a show. Do you see yourself doing that again?
Yeah, that's a good question, Zeb. We threw our first show back in 2013, and Zeb remembers this. It was in New York. I was nervous, I was new, I was green and throwing shows, but we had a lot of support in the bully community then, and it's a lot of work, but it was a worthwhile work to do that. Do I see myself throwing other shows? Well, we have. Back in 2014, we threw another show in North Carolina, and that was very successful. My main focus for the brand and for the organization, Bullypedia.com right now, is to really focus and refine our processes for these other breeds, because we need to really focus on not only American bullies right now, but shorty bulls coming into Bullypedia.com. We're introducing cane corsos, English bulldogs. Frenchpedia is another big part of Bullypedia.com right now. That's another database dedicated for the French bulldog breed that's taken off, and I suggest anybody that owns and breeds French bulldogs to check out Frenchpedia.com and see what we're about. If you know Bullypedia as a pedigree database, we apply the same principles, the same processes, the same procedures they'll make and put value into your breed. So anybody out there that owns a French bulldog, check out Frenchpedia.com. You won't be disappointed.
That's what's up, man. That's for my live listeners. That's all you get. You got to tune in for the exclusive interview later. Peace.
Number 66,
yeah, man, but right now, man, we today out here at the Bully Roots Reunion 6. How was it down there in your hometown, man, the first time? In Virginia Beach, man. How have you seen this reunion grow over the years?
The Bully Roots reunion has always been about camaraderie, the community, and bringing together people that you've known throughout the years. So it's kind of special for me. Again, Bully Roots reunion in Virginia. This was back in 2010, I think so. I was a little green, a little new in the bully community, but I knew what the value that Bullypedia.com could bring, and that value was to preserve the heritage, to preserve the history of the American bully, and we've never wavered, we've never faltered on that promise. 6 years later, I think we're doing a better job doing that. So the Bully Roots reunion shows that you can come together as a group and people that you know and have fun. So looking back at it 6 years later, I'm very, very proud that we can say 6 years after the fact that Bullypedia is again in the building to support those that supports us, and you know the brand, and I appreciate everybody again that uses and promotes Bullypedia.com, that supports the breed, the American bully. I appreciate you and I love you for that.
Now, back last year, we met up at the ABKC World Cup. And we were talking about some of the new products right now that's available through Bullypedia. Can you expand on that product line?
Yes, I can. Last year we introduced something called, and that name of that product is called Bullypedia. Excuse me, my voice cracked. DNA profiling, or in short, in our terms, it's called BPDNA. It's a DNA profiling program that allows our members, only Bullypedia dogs, to submit a buccal sample of their dogs and submit it to Bullypedia. Once we get it, we work and process our own samples. Unlike registries that depends on labs to process their samples, we have our own labs. We have our own DNA markers dedicated for our database. As you know, a DNA profile marker is just numbers, so why not take those numbers and distribute that digitally on a pedigree? No one's ever did it. No one's ever thought about doing it, but we did it, and we're very successful at it. And what that allows you to do, it allows you to now genetically trace, called genetic tracing, a bloodline that, let's say, you're using a main stud for. That main stud can be used throughout the years of your program, whether you're line breeding, inbreeding, back breeding to that main stud or female. You can use those same markers to identify that particular stud that's being used. So there is no question that that stud wasn't used or is used. You can prove it genetically and scientifically that it was. So it kind of provides you with more value into your program. You can safely say that, yeah, this is my bloodline, because here it is. We can show you, we can prove it to you via BPDNA in our databases and all our resources at bullypedia.com that will give you. So it adds a lot more value to your program and allows you to be more aware of what you're producing. If, let's say, for example, another example, if you were to ship stored semen stored semen and ship it out, how do you know that same semen is being used? If you do not DNA profile, you will never know. If that DNA was used because you trust a person, that's great, but that's not always the case. There was cases where a few times where a breeder would contact us and that particular male was already BPDNA profile. That's no problem. Now, and he got a pup back deal and he knew exactly that that puppy was not his productions. How could he prove that without BPDNA profile? He can't. Here's how we proved it. We already had the DNA profile markers for the sire. We swabbed the puppy. The puppy came back only half DNA profile marker was the dam. The sire was not matching, so we could prove to you without a shadow of doubt that that puppy didn't come off of that sire, only the dam. Well, up to that point, the breeder then terminated the papers, didn't sign off on it. He protected his bloodline. He preserved his reputation. I could go on and on, people. DNA profile your dogs. If not with bullypedia.com, do it with somebody else. You'll see the value of years down the line.
Let me ask you, man, how valuable a tool is that for the breeders in the bully community? Because what it seems like it really protects the integrity of someone who buys the stud and they ship the semen to them. They realize, hey, did I really get this off this stud? Let me check the Bullypedia and profiling and see if it really came off of them. And it's a valuable tool to keep people from really cheating you out of what you think you really bought.
Zeb said it. He understood the product perfectly. That's one way you can protect your investments, your program, your reputation in the bully community, or even outside of that. By DNA profiling program, think about DNA profile as a permanent social security number for your dog. It never changes. However old the dog is.
You a lifelock of the bully community. Lifelock. You like lifelock.
Okay, Zeb said it. It's lifelock. Again, DNA profiling is very important. It preserves that bloodline that you worked so hard and for so many years for? Wouldn't you like it preserved for 10 years down the line that no one can deny that that was from your blood? Yeah, I would do the same thing. So what I'm saying to you, again, Bully World, DNA profile your dog. Make sure that you have those markers. They're very important. Just like you were born with a birth certificate, like I was assigned a social security number, like you were. Same thing with dogs. DNA profiling markers like social security number. It can't be changed. It doesn't get old. It doesn't degrade. It's always going to be that. So DNA profile your dogs, guys.
And for those that worry about the cost, what's the cost of it?
Typically, the typical cost for DNA profiling with anybody or any organization in the United States and even abroad can vary. It could be from $50 to $75. $50 being the low end. But Bullypedia, we're at $30. I'm gonna say it again. $30. We understand that breeders out there, especially in the bully community, can't afford to DNA profile each dog at $75 to $50, but $30 more reachable in that respect financially. So we work with labs to DNA profile specifically Bullypedia dogs that's registered with us. That's so we can get a price break, and we pass that price break on to you, and hopefully you'll see the value in what we do, not only in the price, but what we bring to the table. And that's database, and that's pedigrees, that's DNA, that's everything else that comes all in one. So hopefully you guys will sign up with us and recognize that that value is bullypedia.com and the pedigree database, DNA database that we bring as well.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. For people that might say, we saw the first video and you said it will be free for the public. Explain why it has to cost now because of the overwhelming support that comes with the database and putting in the time and the effort and the pedigrees that it has to cost. But it's a very important tool for the community, for the bully community and for breeders, whereas it helps you to relay it to their customers that, hey, this is legit, this is where the dogs come from, and it has to be a value to them. And it's no longer what we call a hobby.
That's a good question, Zeb. To answer that question, we have to go back a few years. And the first 2 years, 3 years, I would say 3 years, Bullypedia as a service, as a pedigree database service was free. It was free for the community to use. It was free for the community to add their dogs and sell dogs with Bullypedia links. After 2 or 3 years, we started getting a lot of phone calls from owners or people new in the bully breed, and that is in fact that they were getting dogs and puppies sold to them with just a Bullypedia link. Because again, the value is in the name of Bullypedia.com and what we do. Then they were getting sold with just a Bullypedia link and never getting papers from them, never getting any acknowledgement from the breeders to send their papers to them, selling dogs that, yeah, you guys saw that, I was moving. Selling them dogs that...
Man, I tell you, man, it's windy out here today, man, but we out here. Hey, man, appreciate it.
No, I caught that camera, that was really cool. Selling them dogs with just Bullypedia links, with promising them papers that never came through in the mail, that never was shipped to them. They weren't getting calls, Bullypedia was, so we had to take it a step further and say, hey, we have to put a stop to this nonsense. If I sold your pup, I sold your Bullypedia link and promised you ABKC, UKC papers, but then a year later you don't send me any papers? That didn't happen once. That didn't happen twice. We were getting calls almost every day.
Wow.
How do we protect our members, our breeders? Well, one way to protect them is first to require legitimate paperwork, then we can assign, let's say, somebody to check over. 2, we can lock down the pedigree until we were confident that most of the dogs in Bullypedia have paperwork, have breeders that's actually breeding the dog and not just selling a dog with a Bullypedia link and collecting the money. That's wrong. So eventually we came to the conclusion that we had to develop our infrastructure, and one of those infrastructure was to hire dedicated people to audit a pedigree. And what I mean by that is to check to make sure the legitimacy of that pedigree resides within the document of what was submitted through the ABKC, copies of documents through UKC, copies of documents with ADBA, or maybe all three. And that requires financial and capital investments. And one of those ways is where we opened up a main office to process all that. And light is not free. Phone calls and our hosting service is not free. We have to absorb that. We did that to preserve what Bullypedia is as a value. And if it's still a value, and until this day, we provide a value to the community, and it cannot be free for a company to grow. If you want a company to grow, you need some type of capital coming in. And we put that same capital that we've earned from our memberships back into Bullypedia, back into the products that we're bringing you today, like BP DNA, BP Insight, BP iTag, and these products are a derivative of the financial backing that we did get from our membership, and we're still doing it till this day. So I think with any business that needs growth, that needs expansion, they will need to charge a service. And if the service is of value to anyone, that $20 fee, $30 fee, which should be minimal to what it can bring in as far as the service to you as a breeder, the service to you as a dog owner, and making sure that you're getting papers, making sure that those dogs are indeed legitimate. And that's what Bullypedia tries to bring.
Now let me ask you, man, where do you see the company going within the next 2 or 3 years, man? Because you're really expanding, opening up new ideas into the bully community, where it's really helping out what's going on, where you find the people who are talking about, like you said, people who are saying they're not getting the papers, people saying, hey, my pups aren't off this stud. Where do you see Bullypedia going for the next 2 or 3 years to help out what's going on out there? Because you've been really a great service to the bully community, and also, like I said, expanding over into other dog communities as well, especially with the launching of the Shortypedia.
I had a goal 5 years ago, and that goal was to push the boundaries of what technology can do in regards to American bullies. And I'm still trying to achieve that goal, and those new goals are for the Shorty Bull. We're going to apply the same process and procedures that made us successful in the American Bully for the Shorty Bull as well. Same tools that we have, same resources that we were put into the American Bully, we'll also put in the Shorty Bull. And my goal is to really again push the boundaries again with the Old English Bulldog coming on board Bullypedia.com, and English Bulldog, Dogo Argentino. It's coming, guys. I know you guys have been contacting me for that, and we're going to bring that as well. Bull Mastiff as the breed as well. That's coming on board in the next 6 months here. So we're just trying to push the boundaries and having Bullypedia as the one-stop shop for the bull breeds, for all the bully breeds. And I think that's the way you have to approach it, where you have to push progression on what you do on that level, and I think we're on our way for that. And that's our goal in the next year or so, is to introduce a few more, a lot more breeds, bully breeds in Bullypedia.com. Our infrastructure, again, is what built us. We had the foundation. We invested a lot of time, effort, energy into that, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to push the boundaries of the bully breeds and the pedigrees in the online world.
Let me ask you one last question.
Yeah.
Coming up on the last question, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you see yourself?
You got a card?
Call for me or gonna call for Bullypedia? Or me?
For you, big dog, not for me.
Yeah, I got a card right here in the middle. Give it our cards.
Say that again? Yeah, what size you looking for? We got a 2X and a 3X. It's sporty.
Got Ram making the sale a little bit of the interview. That's what I'm talking about, man. Grinding.
In the meantime, between time, take a look at that. Take a look at that. Vinyl stickers, we're giving it away for free. By the way, we're giving away a lot of chips, Capri Suns.
A lot of stuff for the kids out there.
Yeah, it just flew. But that's what we do, you know what I mean?
That's what's up, man. In the meantime, man, yeah. We out here in Bel Air, Maryland. It's like 38 degrees. In the middle of April. We had some hail coming down. But people are out here, man, in support of Bully Roasting Union 6. And for all the people out there, man, really appreciate the love. Bully Talk was there, just a brand. Tuning in for all the exclusive interviews. It's really chopping it up with the Bully community. We'll be back with you in a minute with the rest of the Rand interview and Bully Talk with Zeb Pits.
All the entrepreneurs out there that's thinking about starting a pedigree site, do what you, if you feel like you want to do that. I don't knock you for it, but you got to understand there's grind, there's dedication, there's hard work, there's grit involved in this. Like Zeb, he's been doing this for a minute. He's been this long than I have. I respect this man. I look up to this guy for the longest time because, you know what, without people like Zeb in the media community, you guys won't see videos like this. You guys won't see how cold it is right now.
You say it's breath, man. Our breath is
it's cold.
It's cold, man.
But you know what? This is what it takes. It's dedication. So whoever's out there want to become in the media side, wants to start a pedigree database, this is what's going to take for you to be successful. Not months, not weeks, but years into this. You know what I mean? And that's just my opinion, man. This is Randy from Bullypedia.com.
Hey, man, I really appreciate your time today.
No, thank you so much, man. Respect. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, man.
And
a lot of brands I love out there, Bullypedia,
thank you so much.
Hey man, you saw us earlier, man. That's the brand right there. Remember that brand, man. Bullypedia working hard with the database, bringing all the newest, latest, innovative technology to the bully world to help you breeders, help you newcomers out there so you don't get burned. Hey, remember, man.
Bullypedia.com. On the closing note, I wish everybody, a wonderful day. If you guys are watching this video, please take care of your bullies. It's about it's about breeding healthy bullies, functional bullies, and supporting the bully community, supporting brands and media outlets like Zeb Pits. Subscribe to his channel, subscribe to his daily blogs. Make sure you check out Bullypedia.com. Frenchiepedia.com, Shortypedia.com, KingCoursepedia.com, all these other pedia.coms. This is Randy from Bullypedia.com. I love you and thank you for your support.
Peace. Thank you, big dog.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna bring some of that monkey shot over, so you can have that straight up. Here we go get this.